Hello, everyone. Um, I heard some popping noise yesterday. I hope it doesn't bother you too much. Let me know if it does. Lip smacking, popping must be a little annoying. Do let me know if you're out there. This is the final part of my Hobgoblin series. I basically went over what I thought were the best of the Roger Stern Hobgoblin stories. Roger Stern co-created the character with John Romita Jr. and he was supposed to draw this. Well, he was supposed to. Jeremy Jr. He wanted Jeremy Jr. to just, hey, Flady, Jimmy. He wanted Roger Stern wanted Jeremy Jr. to draw this, but he couldn't for whatever reason. So he got Ron Friends, a reliable, good Spider-Man artist. Um, and here we are. I think the final issue is inked by Bob McLeod. Let's see. I think it is, but that's what I remember at least. So let's go from the cover, which is pretty cool, but the foreshortening is pretty bad. Both Spider-Man and Hobgoblin look pretty short. A big head on Hobgoblin and a strange foreshortening there with no real kneecap. I don't know what the thinking was there. George Perez inked it, added his usual razor blade ink lines, which added a different look to Friends, and it looks a little better than I remember it looking when I just reread it recently. So, hey, Art, how's it going? Appreciate it. Yeah, picked me up past 18,000 last night, so very, very cool. I got a few backers um, yesterday and also today. So very, very cool. I really appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much, man. 18,000, we're on our way to 20, and then we'll see from there. We'll see what I can do to punch a little more life into this campaign before I close it, and we will see. My first campaign, I wanted to stretch it out a bit. Excuse me. I want to stretch it out a bit, and we'll see. And I tried to do this screen thing here. Let me see if I can do it while I'm on the air with you. Let's see if I can do this actually. Put my phone up on there. I think Dan Lawless recommended this possibility, and let me see if I can do it actually. I just don't know. Huh. Okay, it's disconnected, so it doesn't matter anyway. Okay. I'll try another time. Okay. We will see. All right, guys, so let me just start this up. I'm not crazy about this cover again. Spider-Man's limp wrist going there like that. It could do a little cooler. The excess lines, they try to do the huge spider on a chest, and also the boots that go way over his calves, unlike Romita Jr., who puts them right, like almost right underneath his calves. I just like the look of that. It just looks cooler. By the way, if anyone here is NBA fans, I think Mikey gets his. Michael Jordan will be returning to NBC next year in some kind of special commentator capacity. So he's going to be commentating on the NBA, which is pretty incredible. With LeBron James phasing out, finally getting the hell out of the league, probably within the next at least year or two. The guy's 41, I believe. I can't wait till he gets the hell out. I can't stand him. He's the most, I don't know, the sleaziest, most unlikable superstar, quote unquote, I think we've ever seen. He's such a piece of shit. He's such a typical guy. He runs on every bandwagon he possibly can. They talk about him as a billionaire. It's like, yeah, maybe he is. So, what does that mean? There were scumbags in Saudi Arabia who are billionaires hanging out with Trump right now. Why? I don't know. The fuck do they have to offer us? I don't know. I know, Trump loyalists will say, no, he's thinking 40 chess. Yeah, whatever, man. They have nothing to offer us, zero, and I mean that. I mean that. We have our own oil. We don't need them. But anyway, that's a whole different story. So let's get going. Hobgoblin Lives. Flady one, most major league sports are bleeding money, so they are trying to change it up, in my opinion. 100%, Flady, 100%. They're hurting. The NBA in particular is hurting because they went all in with BLM, all in to the point where it was plastered on the basketball courts, guys. BLM, Black Lives Matter, on the back of the jerseys of these idiots running around. They went all in on a horrifically divisive issue, horrifically divisive, and they lost. Forget about it. Millions and millions of viewers, millions. Jordan's last game, 30, 40 million viewers. Now they're lucky if they get a million viewers for an average game, maybe a few million, handful for the major games. That's about it. That's horrifically bad. So they need the icon of icons, and they must give him a great deal because he's not. He is a recluse, really. I mean, Michael Jordan. We didn't see him for years until we saw him in The Last Dance, and that was five years ago. Since then, nothing. Rarely makes appearances, rarely does speeches. But now we will get to hear his take on what's going on with the NBA games, which is extraordinary because, again, I think if I were one of the young players, I'd be like, holy shit, the GOAT is watching and commentating. I'm gonna, I mean, maybe they need that little extra push because I'll tell you one thing, guys. These fat and happy players have $200 million contracts, and some of them are okay. They're not all-time greats. $200 million for these guys, mediocre guys, or not mediocre, but not superstars. Let's say that. And they don't bust their ass on defense. They don't play hard. They don't practice hard. They don't. They act like assholes with fans, and so on and so on and so on. Everything that is completely diametrical to the way Jordan held himself and played. He played his heart out. No one ever questioned his effort. Ever. Everyone questions LeBron's effort on defense. His flopping, his notorious flopping. Jordan didn't flop. Kobe didn't flop. It's just it'll be extraordinary. I think just to have that icon of icons there, putting his 2 cents in. And for the first time in 5 years, I think I'm dipping into the NBA a little more to watching at least the fourth quarters for now. At least the fourth quarters, I'm watching them and I'm enjoying them. And they're intense and they're unfortunately some players are hurt here and there. That sucks, but could be interesting for New York as well. I'm from New York, so to see the Knicks do well, it's pretty damn good. And now it looks like they're going to probably take out Celtics because Jason Tatum is unbelievable. My God, his Achilles. I mean, he tore his Achilles. I mean, the guy is what, under 30 years old? And this has happened now for 4 or 5 players in the last few years. Like, what the hell, man? I don't remember this happening back in the day with Jordan. I just don't. It was a rare occurrence. It happened to Kobe. It happened to Kevin Durant. It happened to Kevin Thompson. Not Kevin Thompson, his son on the Warriors. And then it happened to the other guy from the Bucks, and now it happens to him. It's crazy. Flady, Jimmy says, remember those college graduated basketball players were even misspelled that I can't breathe shirts? Yep, they misspelled breathe. My God. It's it's unfortunate, but most of them are flat out dumb jocks. There's a reason that term is a stereotype. And then, on top of that, you have dumb, broadcasters, I mean, for all, the praise that Charles Barkley gets, a guy can't speak. They want to hep him. They want to what, Charles? They want to hep him. Hep? Can you just please enunciate? Please, at least try. I know it's a pose now. I know it's fashionable to be stupid and sound stupid, but my God. And again, he's better than the other guys, sure. I'd rather listen to Charles Barkley talk about these things than most of the guys there. But some of that language is just really stupid. And Shaq with doesn't have much to offer. He's not too smart. He's a Muslim who eats pork and who knows what else he does. But anyway, Charles Barkley called him out for that, which is funny. And how Muslim is he really? Please. And then Kenny Smith, he's I don't know. He's not all-time great. He won 2 championships with Olajuwon, but without Olajuwon, he doesn't win them. Doesn't have much to say. Then Ernie's there, the middleman, whatever. But Anyway, I'm just yapping away about this. Apologize. I know that if you guys don't really care for basketball, probably tuning out. But it's just something for me that Jordan is one of my heroes, and it's just to have him back in any capacity. I'll take it. I mean, look, if he wants to be a special broadcaster, commentator, I forgot what they said, but it's because the NBA is going back to NBC after decades. It was on ABC for a while, and the main games, the finals and stuff. And Jordan was familiar with that. The familiarity probably led him there. The nostalgia, and also the fact that they're hemorrhaging money, big time, to the point where they're asking the GOAT, "Hey, can you help us here?" And he says, "Sure. How much you got?" And that's the point. I mean, they're going to pay him a ton of money, and they should. Jordan doesn't go out there. Again, he's not a social person. He's not. We haven't seen him in regular, interviews for years. So I think it's a great move for the NBA. It tells you their desperation as well. No doubt about it. That's a sign of their desperation. But what's the answer? Bring in the icon of icons? Absolutely. Absolutely. And then you got an idiot like Draymond Green, who fancies himself some broadcast now. When the Warriors get kicked out, he's going to join against the TNT crew. He's just an idiot, absolute dirty, filthy player who's a piece of shit. And every stereotype you want throw at him, he's like, yes, okay, great, you dumb fuck. And it'll be obscene to see maybe him in the booth, and then he goes to Michael Jordan. It's like Draymond Green. And he can't fancies himself a great player, 8 points a game average for his career. That's greatness now? No, it's not. He's a role player, a glorified role player. Anyway, let me read a few more comments and then get to this. I don't. Again, guys, I have an organic show. I'm not locked in like a robot. I'm gonna chat with you guys as I do this. To me, it's fun. Flayed One says, I remember in the mid '90s when they were going on strike, idiots on the radio where you like, you taking money out of the players' mouths, pathetic. I mean, are you talking about those who side with the players always? It's just stupid. Players, a lot of them are absolute idiots. They really are. They're there because they're 6'5", 6'6", 7. That's why they're there. They're there because they're tall. And if they weren't tall, they wouldn't be playing. You know when you got a guy who's 6 foot kicking his ass out there, that guy has a passion to play. He's undersized and he'll kill it. Brunson on the Knicks, the guy just keeps going. And, it's to the point where people were like almost mocking him. Like, yeah, it's like mocking him. This guy's making the Knicks go to a place that they haven't been in years. Probably going to get to the conference finals. That's a huge deal for New York. Huge. And the idiot LeBron also, he could have had a chance, but he's an idiot. He could have had a chance, guys, 6, 7 years ago when he went to Lakers to go to the Knicks. Bring a championship to New York City after, 50 years? Imagine if he did that. New York City, to me, that's a lot more, a bigger deal than to win just another championship in LA. And that championship was, questionable. The COVID championship, what they call it, the balloon championship, like in that place, where there was no audience, no nothing, a big, balloon covered. They were wearing masks and stuff, and terrible. Like he gets, yeah, it doesn't look good for my Celtics. Yeah, man, that's a terrible, terrible thing. And I'm not crazy about Jason Tatum either. I'm just not. I think he's too hot and too cold. I think when he's great, the last game that he got hurt in, and again, it was only on his own. You got that freak accident where you push off on your foot and it just fucking snapped. That's insane. But I couldn't stand when he has like 10 points, 13 points, then he has 40. It's like, oh, okay, you gotta make it happen every night. They're counting on you. This is your team. You're the best player here. You gotta do it. Game in, game out. You gotta do it. Last year they got there, I gotta say, through a few things. Some teams got hurt, some players got hurt, and they ended up there. I'm not saying they didn't earn the championship. They won it. fair and square, but there was some luck involved also. And Tatum is not a killer. He's not. He's a skilled player, no doubt about it, but he doesn't have that extra oomph, that edge, that fire that he needs. And I don't know if it can be taught. I don't think so. I mean, Jordan had it day one. Kobe had it day one. So some players just don't have it. Some players get better and more skilled, sure. Like Jason Kidd. I mean, he was a horrific shooter, and then he was a good 3-point shooter. Years and years later, when he went with the Mavs. Art, so we couldn't breathe from how hard we were laughing at them. Shirts should have said I can't spell exactly. And then they had also their own choice things on their backs, like not DEI, but some other stuff. I don't even know. Do they have Kangs or something like that? Something really stupid. It was like, this is embarrassing, guys. You have crippled yourself. You have alienated decent people in this country who were not involved with anything here politically. They wanted to come and watch these sports. Jordan transcended race. Nobody talked about Jordan being black. Nobody thought of him as a black man. He was just Michael Jordan, and that's it. There was nothing associated with him besides who he was and what he did. And of course, the black community tried to get him, rope him in, and he goes, he wouldn't have it. He wouldn't have it. And yeah, it's a mythology where he said, Republicans buy sneakers too. I think that's just a line. Jordan actually addressed it on Last Dance, but he understood he wanted to be the best basketball player. Period. Not social, icon, not a guy who goes out there and pretends to be more than an athlete like the idiot LeBron does with his podcasts, multiple podcasts and shows on Showtime and stuff. And that's embarrassing stuff. Really embarrassing. And then he gets his co-host, the idiot. What's his name? The coach for the Lakers. I forgot his name, and I'm glad. I can't stand him. He bombed out. It was the first time in history in the LA Lakers that a third seed Lakers lost in the first round and only won one game. First time ever. And I'm glad. I forgot his name, by the way. He's such an arrogant asshole. Jimmy, Charles, and Shaq, when they talk, make the closed caption and translator go nuts. Absolutely. It's so bad. And, that they can speak better. It's like when you got Kevin Garnett. He's speaking to the commissioner of the NBA, that ghoul, Adam Silver. He's an absolute ghoul, a piece of shit who's been captured by the players and works for them. Not for the good of the league, but for them. Kowtows to them. Anyway, so Kevin Garnett's interviewing him, and he's speaking in a very enunciated, articulate way. And they just don't show, yo, I got my shit. It's like, what the fuck just happened? So Charles Barkley, I guess, to keep his realness, even though he's a very wealthy guy, very famous, he has to keep that edge in his mind and say "hep" instead of "help," and it's terrible. And I know people say, "Well, he's from down south." Yeah, sure, yeah. Thanks, Jimmy. The sports talk is good. Flatey says NBA should look to Marvel for a business model. If they got more gay players on the court, the money will pour in. Seems to work with Juggernaut and Doctor Doom. My God. Hold on a second. Are you saying, Flatey, that the Juggernaut and Doctor Doom are gay in Marvel? Is that true? Wow. All right, have they gone there? Let me know. Absolutely. Larry Bird. I mean, look, man, arguably one of the most underrated players in the NBA history because he was white, and that's a fact. Even at the time when he was playing, Rodman, Dennis Rodman called, yeah, he's only considered great because he's white. That's absolute bullshit. He had to overwork. Okay, Flatey. Like they did with Robin and Superman's son and all that. Larry Bird had more fire and self-motivation than a bulk of these players. I would place him above LeBron any day. I know that might be sacrilegious to some. I would pick him over LeBron at their peaks any day. Because that guy will make it happen. He will do anything it takes. Anything. You will never, ever, ever see peak Larry Bird, the way you saw LeBron in 2011 in that horrific loss to the Dallas Mavericks. That's the real LeBron. Under pressure, without his ability to bully. Because if he can't bully you, he'll lose. Um, he stuck it up. He averaged 17 points in the finals, something that would have been shameful for Jordan to have done, to be a superstar and do that. He disappeared in the fourth quarters. He lost against Dirk Nowitzki and some decent team behind him, but that's all he had. I don't even think he had any All-Stars. Where you got this quote-unquote super team, they got their asses kicked. And Larry Bird was in the finals, what, 5 times? He won 3. He was up against this juggernaut in the Lakers. But they were always in the hunt, always. And the 86 team, arguably one of the greatest teams ever, Jordan faced them. He had 63 points against that vaunted defense. Michael Jordan, young, in his early 20s. And this is the nature of Jordan. After he scored those points, Bird said that wasn't Michael Jordan. That was God in Michael Jordan's shoes. And Jordan, he goes, I would never say that about anyone. That's how he took that compliment. I wouldn't say that about anyone. Hilarious. And then if you guys saw Jordan and Larry Bird in the documentary, well, it's not a real documentary. It's a controlled, documentary in a lot of ways. It's not some objective people who were just watching, observing events and recording them. No, they were following them with knowledge of the players and all that. So it was like in real time for that entire, 98 season. When Jordan pulled out a win against Larry Bird's Pacers, who gave them a tougher time than anyone, because it was Larry Bird. Larry Bird made sure he got these players in position to try to take out Jordan's Bulls in 1998, and they took him to a Game 7. And that game was up in the air. It could have went anyway. And then when Jordan and Larry Bird met after Jordan won, they're clearly friends because they walk up and they start cursing each other, motherfucker, you fucking piece of and they're hugging. It's hilarious. You gotta watch it. That's all they said to each other. They just, roasted each other hardcore. Big time competitors, big time. And Larry Bird's so great that he even got Mark Jackson, that dummy, from doing the shimmy after every time he made a 3. And Bird told him to stop it. And so let's just say he might have slipped it out sometimes, but he thought about it. He thought twice before doing it because Bird hated it. It gets in the way also. Get back on defense, you hack. Don't celebrate, idiot. Celebrate if you win, maybe. Maybe not even then. If you win at finals, sure, go off. But Bird was incredible. Incredible. And I read multiple, books about Jordan more than anyone, and then Bird also, and some other players, and Bill Russell, and so on. Loved this game, and it was heartbreaking when they pulled that absolute racist bullshit 5 years ago. I left it. I didn't watch any. I saw maybe. I still kept watching channels about the NBA, like Dreamers Pro the last few years, Scap Attack as well the last few years. Who's really good, by the way. Check it out, Scap Attack. Jay Skapanek, who has been doing this for a few years, right? He has such a great attitude about Kobe's his guy, but he understands that Jordan's the greatest. So while Kobe's his favorite, he understands Jordan's the GOAT. And he is a harsh critic of LeBron. And then recently, he came out as a conservative who was at Butler, Pennsylvania, where Trump got shot. He was in the audience. And he said he thinks after Trump was willing to do that, get shot, go fight, that he said, you know what, I have no excuse, no right to keep myself in the political closet anymore. So he came out on Jason Whitlock's show. And Jason Whitlock, I can listen to him at times, but my God, he's such an idiot. He really is. He thinks he's being brave when he talks about the Jews. And then he's also, his name is, the name of his show is Fearless. I met him. I gave him my comics. I talked to him about the Muhammad cartoon contest, and his show is Fearless. So I said, read it. If you like it, contact me. We'll go from there. Maybe have me on. No, He would never do that, and he never says a word about Islam. So can't stand that shit. And also, the idiot Kanye, and how some in our space pretend that he's some brave truth teller. He's a piece of shit. He's a fucking retard. Also, go make a video called Allahu Akbar Muhammad instead of Heil Hitler, and portray Muhammad, or even portray yourself as Muhammad. Now we're talking, Kanye. Now we're talking. Outside of that, you're a pussy. Who doesn't smear the Jews today? You got billions of people, and I mean, Muslims. I mean, across the world, it's an epidemic. It's disgusting, and it all blew up more than ever after October 7th. What does it say about those who did that? It wasn't. They didn't have the moral sense to say, "My God, that's a horrific attack. What are we going to do about Islam?" They said, "No, no, no, no. The Jews are the problem." And then on top of that, a dumb fuck like Alex Jones, that Israel birthed ISIS and Al Qaeda, and they own them, they control them. That's retarded. But he is retarded, and he even said, "I'm retarded," and I agree, Alex. You are really, really, really stupid. Anyway, Art says new comic has Doom, Sun, and Killmonger making. Oh, Jesus Christ! Oh my God! Jesus. I can't either, Jimmy. I mean, I'll pick my spots here and there. Certain artists, I will still get at times John Romita Jr., but I couldn't continue with that last iteration of Spider-Man. He's gonna come back now with a new villain. I'll read it. The stories I think are Joe Kelly. I think he's a better writer than the last one. We'll see. We'll see. Hobgoblin's coming back also in this new 2025 version of Amazing Spider-Man. That's again restarted now again as a number one. I can't stand that bullshit. You guys should have this pride about the legacy of Spider-Man. He's like 1,000 issues now. Have some pride about it. Stamp it on the cover. Why not? Have some pride about that. The character has stood the test of time. He's not a fresh character. He's an older character now. So respect it. Anyway, Art says, same Jimmy, give absolute Martian Manhunter a chance. Dozen pages in, they're talking about Jesus Christ, gay sex for no reason. My God. Mikey, guess the only new comic I read is Saga. I read Saga. I liked it. I like Brian K. Vaughan. I remember he said about Table for One, just a little preview of it. He goes, a comic book after my own heart, But again, he wouldn't, of course, hail Michelle. He wouldn't read it. He wouldn't say anything about it. And I think he never got back to me because I think I sent him a copy. I liked Why the Last Man. I liked Saga. And then there was something really stupid they did about Abortion City or something like that. I thought it was so gratuitous and stupid. And again, I'm a guy who believes that a woman should have the right. Now, I don't believe in, murdering babies after they come out, which is a thing that leftists do believe. They absolutely do believe it, and they advocate for that. That's sick. But that, to me, is just a reaction to the right in a really ugly way to diminish the issue. It's a deadly serious issue. Families, men and women who decide to have one, let's just say, it's not the easiest thing in the world. Women who have miscarriages, families who have miscarriages, those are heartbreaking, and so on and so on. Hey, Grey Wolf. Okay, let's go. Spider-Man, Hobgoblin Lives, number 3, April 1997, published. This is 14 years after Roger Stern left Spider-Man to come back and tell get a chance to tell his story of who the Hobgoblin is. And this is the issue where the truth finally comes out. We've gotten hints, we've gotten this, we've gotten that, we've gotten contenders, we've gotten people, suspects, and so on. But this is it. This is the issue where the truth breaks out. That's pretty cool. So let's read this also. This is to catch us up. I think they had the same thing last time, but I'm going to read it anyway. for new viewers. The original Hobgoblin continues his reign of terror in New York City, and he's not letting Spider-Man get in his way. Long believed to be Ned Leeds, the late investigative reporter for the Daily Bugle, the Hobgoblin has emerged from years of inactivity. Having murdered Jason Philip Messendale, the second Hobgoblin, and proven that Leeds was only a dupe, the Hobgoblin has attracted the attention of his old enemy, the ever-amazing Spider-Man, who is now intent on bringing the arch-villain down and learning his identity once and for all. And joining the web-slinger in his quest for the truth and justice is Leeds' wife, reporter Betty Brandt, desperate to learn who set her husband up and why. I also like that it was Betty and Flash and Mary Jane and Peter all talking and trying to figure out the truth behind who the Hobgoblin is, because at that point they realized that Ned Leeds was not the Hobgoblin. That was, I think, a Tom DeFalco thing. I didn't care for that. And the worst thing about that, guys, it was done off page, meaning it was done off the comic page. There was a Spider-Man Wolverine special, and then Ned Leeds was with Peter in that story, and then Peter finds Ned Leeds killed, and then you go back to the Amazing Spider-Man issue and you find out that the Kingpin gives Spider-Man some information that Ned Leeds was the Hobgoblin. He was killed by the foreigner who sent in Jason Messendale, the old, jack-o'-lantern guy, and then he took over the Hobgoblin's persona. So it was a real mess. Yeah, that sounds terrible, Martian Manhunter, guys. Oof. They can't help themselves. They can't. They are stuck. They're stuck at a few years ago. They don't realize that it's not just the Trump thing. It's not just Trump winning. It's Trump won because of something that's going on in the country. People are fed up. A lot of bullshit. They talk about the fatigue. They keep saying that in terms of violence and stuff and so on and what's happening. Yeah, how about leftist fatigue, Islam fatigue, and so on and so on and so on. All this stuff, DEI fatigue, and so on. That's what's happening. It's not just one thing, LGBT fatigue, feminism fatigue, all this nasty shit that's going on. We're sick of it. We are united here together. We're not a race-based country. We're not a class country. We're not. We're Americans. We weren't like that prior to this, and we've got to stop acting like that. It's repulsive. But that's what, they call it race communism. What's race communism? Nazism, National Socialism. That's what it is. Enough of this. Enough. Anyway, now the pieces are falling together and the identity of the Hobgoblin is about to be revealed at long last. But will Spider-Man and Betty survive long enough to discover it? The Hobgoblin lives and he means business. I'll get lib fatigue trending, LOL. I mean, that's a thing, plush. Leftist fatigue. Liberals, we're not there. We're far beyond that, guys. We're far beyond the idea that these are liberals. I remember calling out Dan Bongino. These libs. They're throwing innocents into prison. They're burning cities. They're not libs. That's what they want to be called. Leftist communists want to be called liberals. Keep in mind, guys, the communists never want to be called communists, ever. You call them a communist, they get very, very defensive. Very defensive, because that's what they are. Thanks, Mikey. Appreciate it. Yeah, guys, back Pigman. I just crossed 18,278 backers. I appreciate it, man. Thank you very much, guys. Art says, and that's why we're reading the classics and indie comics instead. 100% Art. That's my go-to now these days. I'm reading all the old stuff. I'm reading things that I haven't read. About to read Joe Kubert's Tarzan. Got that a little while back. Saw enough of it that I said, okay, I got to get the whole collection. I'm reading Jew Gangster by Joe Kubert as well, a graphic novel about a Jewish gangster. And a few other things. About to reread The Amazing Spider-Man, those first 38 issues. And then I'll reread the Roger Stern, John Romita Jr. run. So yeah, that's where you go, and then comics get comics, really. And then I'll look, I'll go to a comic shop, I'll see what's what, you know. So Bob McLeod did ink this. Okay, I was right. I was wrong about the last issue, but I was right about this one. Bob McLeod did ink this one, so it's a different look, a more slick look. If you remember, guys, Bob McLeod inked McFarlane's first two issues of Amazing Spider-Man. If you remember that, and it was very professional, very slick. It didn't prepare you for what came after because he was wearing a black suit. And then by the end of issue 300, I think that's what it was, because it was 298 his first issue, McFarlane, Bob McLeod inked that 299, and then 300 is when I believe McFarlane he began to ink it. And then he had that cool shot at the end with the suit. But then to me, it got out of hand. He made a big ass on him. He made this flat face. He made a very creepy looking Spider-Man. He wasn't heroic, and I didn't like that. But those first two issues he drew were very professional in a way that they weren't later on, because he has a very slick look, Bob McLeod. So here we go. He also inked Craven's Hunt over Mike Zeck. So this guy's good. He's very good at what he does. Thanks again for sharing the link, Mikey. Appreciate it. All right, guys. Let's let's get going. Let's get going. I keep interrupting myself. Apologize. Oh, I gotta get that flap out. It keeps happening, man. It's so annoying. Okay. Spider-Man, Spider-Man, foolish, misguided Spider-Man. You never could stop me, could you? And soon now you will die without ever learning the true identity of the Hobgoblin. Stanley presents Secrets. That's a very good Hobgoblin by Friends and McLeod. Very good. Okay, so yeah, here are the contenders in his mind. Last issue, right? Hobgoblin threw Spider-Man, or he fell into the water. He zapped him with the head of his glider with that little horns with a horned head. He electrocuted it, and Spider-Man got shocked. He fell into the water, and Hobgoblin flew off laughing. So that's where we are, and he's probably getting some visions here. You know that I'm not Ned Lees, but that's all you know. Who am I really? There are so many possibilities. It's pretty cool. They're laying it down here. Five guys. Um, Take Jonas Harrow. He has considerable expertise, both scientific and criminal. Or am I J. Jonah Jameson? That's pretty cool with the hoods over them. The Bugle publisher has long tormented you in print. Perhaps I'm a man of power like Senator Martin, a man whose son you once humbled and humiliated, or a corporate manipulator like Roderick Kingsley. Or might I be Donald Mencken? Mencken had ties to Norman Osborn, the Green Goblin, and he still works for the Osborn's company. It would be so simple if it were Mencken, wouldn't it? Now, what's this, guys? There's some miscoloring here. The blue little on his fingers. I don't remember that being the case at all in any iteration of Spider-Man. And again, the colorist, he fucks up here, makes that part red. These little things, and this, the blue right there. I don't know what that color was thinking at all. Maybe one version of like the Ben Riley something at times, maybe, or like blue, half red gloves, but not here. This is a classic suit. Okay, but you'll never know, never know, never know. What? Where am I? Underwater. Remember now, was fighting Hobgoblin out over river, zapped me bad, lungs burning. How long have I been under? I mean, you could have easily died, man. That boat looks a long ways up. Gotta get there somehow. Can't let it end this way. Can't let Hobgoblin win again. He's hurt too many people already. People like Betty. Yeah, it's already a more classic look, this inking. Jerome Moore and Scott Hanna, I don't think were favorable to Ron Friends. I think this is the best inker for this series so far. better than Perez and Scott Hanna and Jerome Moore. You can just tell in the quality here of the line work there. I forgot to do that in my drawing of the Hobgoblin. It was like a chainmail. I didn't do that. I should have, but I didn't. I should use a little more reference. Um, like Betty, thank you both, but this really wasn't necessary. The chief thinks otherwise, Mrs. Leeds. Going on TV like you did sure flushed out the Hobgoblin, and who knows who else might come after you. A unit will arrive soon to watch your building. In the meantime, we'd like to make certain your apartment is secure. Well, all right. Whatever you think best. Is it warm in here? Boom. Yep. Fools. Did they think I'd enter with bombs blazing? A whiff of gas is so much more efficient. And again, that separates him from the Green Goblin, who likes that dramatic stuff more, who likes to make a wilder entrance. He's a little more cerebral Hobgoblin. So, yeah. Sorry. I get these things sometimes. I got to take care of business here because some people, yeah, apologize. 1 second, guys. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Okay. Early edition news. Police and the Amazing Spider-Man were attacked outside New York City Lives, New York City Lives Midtown studio just half an hour ago by an assailant dressed as the notorious Hobgoblin. Um, he makes him bigger here than he is on the cover, that's for sure. He looks like a big guy here and very just powerful build. Look at this, very different than we saw on this cover, and taller. I mean, look at that. He looks truncated here. You know, you got to do the foreshortening right, or else it kills it. I guess that's the kneecap there, but they should have had a little more there. Spider-Man also looks just shortened, hit his legs. So this is, to me, it's the best art of this series so far, with nice blacks, really nice blacks. Look at this. Everything is rich. Brushwork, you could tell. Really nice brushwork. Okay. They didn't mention you at all, my dear. What a shame. Mobile news crews caught these scenes of the aerial battle as it raged out over the East River. Spider-Man apparently sustained a massive electrical shock, plunging unconscious into the river. Interesting, they're using that shot right there where Gwen was murdered off the bridge, off that top. It was nearly 20 minutes after his attacker disappeared that Spider-Man finally emerged, noticeably shaken but still alive. Boom! He's like, fuck, I thought I killed that guy, finally. Um, Good stuff here, man. And guys, that line work, I'm a stickler for it. Nose, mouth, nose, mouth. I like it. And again, then this terrible line work here. You should have done what Romita does, puts it the opposite direction to web lines, but that's me. Brr, that wind is brisk. If I were smart, I'd go home and dry off. But with Hobgoblin on the loose, I'd better touch base with Betty first and make sure she got home okay. Uh-oh, this doesn't look good. Tavosky took a real lungful, Lieutenant Stone. Pack him off to Bellevue. Do you remember anything? Anything at all? No. We were about to check for Spider-Man. What? Stone? What's the Cold Blue team doing here? Where's Betty Leeds? I ask the questions here, Webhead. Let's start with you telling me why I shouldn't slap your sorry butt in jail for leaving a crime scene. You mean that dust up outside the TV studio? Listen, Stone, I left with the scene, chasing after a Hobgoblin. That's right, Lieutenant. See? Now where's Betty Leeds? No sign of the lady in question, but we assume she was abducted by whoever gassed the place. And this half-dissolved gas pumpkin is a pretty good indicator of quote-unquote whoever. Hobgoblin. Looks that way. Any idea where we can find him? Not yet. But if I find anything, you'll be the first to know. Hey, come back here. Sorry, Stone, but I don't have any more time for 20 questions. That's right. That's right. Hell yeah, there's a lady in trouble. Um, this reminds me of the Superman trailer, which I might take a look at here after with you guys. There's something that happens in there where Superman is arguing about not being held down by the process by doing this and that when people's lives are at stake. He doesn't need to get green lit by this guy or that guy or even the president. I like that. I mean, they're already, they're not deputies, they're not official government members. They're already doing good things outside of the government's reach. And Spider-Man right here was like, yeah, sure, guys, whatever. I got to get the bad guy. I have to save Betty. That's it. I don't want to get caught up with you guys, waste my goddamn time. And again, there's another nice Romita-esque look. That wasn't in this series at all until now. I think that's Bob McLeod's doing. I do know that Friends went from drawing Spider-Man similar to Ditko and then went from there to Romita style. You could tell the transition at some point, if you guys recall. He was a good. Again, I resented him because it wasn't John Romita Jr., but he was good. He was good. Well, what have we here? Again, that Lando Calrissian. What have we here? One spider tracer in the purse and a second hidden inside a locket. Clever, but not clever enough. Kingsley, you needn't shout. Here, you'll find a micro switch activator on the underside of each. Take them and... Just a moment. What do you intend to do here? This kidnapping, the killing it has to stop. Shut up, Kingsley. I decide when to stop. Now take those tracers and put them somewhere that will confuse our web-swinging friend. All right. Hobgoblin would stop at nothing to get the info he thinks Betty has. I'm sure he brainwashed Lefty Donovan and maybe Ned too if he tries that on her. No, get a hold of yourself, Parker. You've got to find them before he has a chance. Hobgoblin's always stuck pretty close to the city. If only Betty can activate one of the tracers I gave her. Hello, there's that old familiar spider sense buzz now. And the source is coming from the east. Hang on, Bets, hang on. Where? Sorry to keep you in the dark. Is that better? Hobgoblin. Yes, my dear, and the original, I assure you. He can't resist, I think, filling her in on some stuff. And again, guys, it's the best art of the series so far. That's a really good Hobgoblin. It's a really good. It's a lot more character, a lot more nice line work. And again, as you know, I keep it close to the bone. I keep it pretty simple, but this is really good. It's very effective. And I like that cross-hatching to make that shadow also. It's very, very, very nice looking. Good shot there, too. Where am I? What do you want? There is no need for you to know where. As to the what, I wish to know more about your late husband's secret notes, the ones you boasted about on that insipid TV talk show. Hail, Kyle. Art says, after you back Pigman, check out Salty Sounds Do Good. Absolutely. I backed that myself, I think, early on. And I think he just closed it. So very, very cool. And sounds interesting. It sounds like a really fun story. So definitely back it, guys. That and Seven Sundowns. I forgot the full name, but I just love that title. Very good. Okay. All right. I'll give you what I have in return for the truth about Ned and your connection with him. You want an exclusive interview with the Hobgoblin? Charming. Well, why not? We have the time. Good. Just let me... Don't bother to fumble for the other spider tracer. It and your locket have already been dealt with. Mind if I use this at least? Not at all. So, shall we begin with how I first met Ned Leeds? It's interesting that he would agree to this. It's like he's a mysterious guy. He should want to keep it mysterious, but I guess he's intrigued here. Um, and again, he's not the Green Goblin. He's not a maniac. He's not crazy. He's a guy who probably bored in his business life. Now, I just revealed something almost there. Um, Fladia, you read Silence Dogood? Huh. Cool. I didn't know it was already out. Very, very cool. You read the old ones. Okay. Okay. So I think these are reprints. Is that right, Flady? Let me know. Cool. Sean seems like a good guy also. Um, mind if I use this at least? Not at all. So shall we begin with how I first met Ned Leeds? I remember the day it happened quite clearly. I had been fighting that infernal Spider-Man. Infernal. What a good word for like an old school word. Within the rather closed confines of my battle van, while I was thus preoccupied, the van went off of a pier and we wound up at the bottom of the Hudson River. Okay. I see, Flady. Okay, okay. Now, I don't know when I ordered it. I ordered it a little while back, so maybe, I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. Curious. But I got a number of books come my ways from CG, so and it's always a nice surprise when you pop in and just get a new one because you don't know sometimes exactly when it might be shipping. You have a decent idea, but sometimes it's a complete surprise, which is cool. Hudson River, where we were separated by an explosion. Unfortunately, Spider-Man survived, but so did I. Having lost my mask, I sought the concealing shadows of the wharf, where I acquired a temporary disguise from a homeless man. Too drunk to see straight. Sorry, from a homeless man. It says period. I guess okay. Too drunk to see straight. He gave me his coat, and I allowed him to live another day. What I hadn't what I didn't at first realize was that I had picked up a tail on the waterfront. Your husband, Ned. You got the grammar is totally wrong. The period there is not a comma there, but anyway. He followed me to my lair, no doubt hoping for a closer look at my face. That was his big mistake. Poor Ned. He never did learn who I was, but I learned all about him. He told me all about his assignment to track me down for the Daily Bugle. Yes. That's right, Flady. Like many holidays when you get them, because it's like sometimes nothing happens, you get like three at once. Boom! It's like holy shit. It's awesome. And it's to me it's the closest I've gotten in years to reading things that I like, that are fun, that are interesting, that are individualistic, that are not shoved by corporate bullshit, people who don't give a fuck about comics. Um, I love it. But I learned all about him. He told me all about his assignment to track me down for the Daily Bugle. It's a wonder what a little truth serum will do. Again, it's kicking ass here, Ron Friends, with these poses and these shots and the inking by Bob McLeod. He really, kicked ass. And again, it has the Ramita look there with those two lines there that just belong there. To me, it looks like a human face there. And he adds these nice little lines there too on the mask. That's fine. It's like a little texture, a little shade, shadow. I'm getting close now. The buzz is so strong. It must be right down there. Hey, you, hold it. No, stay back. They made her have the same color as the hobgoblin there for a split second. Leave me alone, and not there. You got no call to bother me, no call at all. Oh, man. Take it easy. I won't hurt you. I just want to know about this locket. Where'd you get it? It's mine. I found it fair and square. Where? In a dumpster, 3 blocks down on 8th Avenue. A dumpster? Oh, my God. Betty. No, stay cool. She's alive. She has to be. Wow. He's known her ever since he was a kid. I think it was his first love, Betty. Dilly Bugle, the secretary. And he heard dumpster. He's like, hey, give me back my locket. In the weeks that followed, I convinced your Ned to work for me. Ah, you look skeptical. It's all true. I direct your attention to the marvelous device behind me. It was developed by a gentleman named Winkler, who once worked for Norman Osborn. Quite simply, it's a brainwashing machine. I think this was the first introduction of the Winkler thing. I believe so. I believe so. And again, Friends is just kicking ass here with a nice backup by McLeod. Really nice inking. Mikey, I'm newish to backing used to just eBay, but I want to see who gets here first, Inglorious Rex or Pigman. LOL. Hey man, we'll see. I intend to begin fulfilling it at the end of July. That's when I will start my fulfillment, and then I have this other project I'm doing, a huge project, and then jump to issue 2 and go from there. See what I can do to punch up this one though before I close it, and I want to have a strong close. It made Ned quite compliant. At first, I assigned him simple tasks such as borrowing files on corporate misdeeds from his colleague Jacob Conover, but I soon found other uses for your husband. Man, Betty's got to suffer this indignity. It's like he's telling her in a very dismissive way, yeah, I played with him, played with your dead husband, programmed to act as my stand-in. He was instrumental in convincing young Richard Fisk to assume the identity of the Rose. Thinking that I was his friend Leeds, the Rose accepted me. This is getting a little convoluted here, but let's just, go on. Thinking that I was his friend Leeds, the Rose accepted me as his partner in a series of extra-legal enterprises. It was all great fun while it lasted, though not as much fun for Ned, I'm afraid. Yeah. Huh. Kirksock, Hobgoblin. It's a lot of, I don't know. Guys talk about all that stuff. I don't know. Maybe you're confessing something. We'll see. Like this one guy told me that he says, I like John Malin's better about the FF. I say, yeah, you must love Dick, if you saw Kings this week. Anyway, so here's Hobgoblin. All the drugs and brainwashing had some unfortunate emotional side effects. He was never quite himself after that, was he? He became irrational, angry. The two of you had some serious marital problems around that time, I believe, and he's loving it. He's smiling. Sean Allen, hey Sean. Art says, depends. Never bet against Yanzi when she's in business mode, but when she gets distracted by anime merch. Funny, Sean. Great read along. You really channeled your Richard Widmark. I love it. The actor who played the Riddler, is that him, Sean, on Batman TV show, or the actor who was the father in Big Country? I do tend to mistake those two guys, but thanks. Yeah, I mean this is fun. So here's the Hobgoblin rubbing it in gratuitously, mocking the dead Ned Lees to his wife, and smiling about it. Have I touched a nerve? Sorry. You mean the side effects led to the misunderstandings, all the pain between Ned and me and Flash Thompson? Thompson? That buffoon. Do you remember the accusations he made about me on television? I do. I think the Hobgoblin's a creep and a coward. He made quite a spectacle of himself. So there he is, a Hobgoblin, watching with a drink in hand, a woman by his side, and played right into my hands. It was a simple matter to drug Thompson and outfit him as me. For a time, the authorities were actually convinced that they'd apprehended the Hobgoblin. That allowed me more freedom of movement, as long as I operated covertly. Not that it mattered much to me then. Frankly, I'd grown bored of my life of crime. It wasn't nearly as profitable as my other pursuits, and New York's crime lords were so banal, their rivalries so petty. I regretted I regretted ever associating with them. Of course, I no longer had to. With Ned programmed to stand in for me, I could participate in their gang war by proxy. There was a downside, though. Repeated use of the Winkler process made your husband increasingly erratic and hard to control. I was forced to humor his desires in order to keep him in line. To that end, I allowed Ned to trade information with the Kingpin so that he could get a lead on an overseas story which had intrigued him as a reporter. A little too much exposition here. Got to get back to the action, but I guess, after 14 years, um, Roger Stern had to do some cleanup. Okay, Sean, cool. And when he discovered that you were harboring Thompson from the police, I let him slip his leash a bit, more than I planned, actually. It must have been quite a shock for you seeing him like that. As you passed out, I signaled Ned to return to me and triggered a special mechanism in his glider, releasing a cog of hallucinogenic gas, which ensured your silence. I'm afraid that added to your woes and those of young Thompson. Sorry. As he smiles, I'll bet you are. Rooting through that dumpster got me nothing but a smelly costume. I finally picked up a buzz from Betty's second tracer, but this lead doesn't look much more promising than the last one. Rein up there, Rawhide. I have some questions for you. Gah! Gah? You play keep away with heavy traffic and you say gah? That's it, Parker. Keep up the snappy patter, and maybe he won't hear the worry in your voice. I don't like heights. Okay, tell me where you got the little spider, and I'll let you down. Spider? What spider? What are you talking about? He really doesn't know. And the tracer's signal buzz. It's not coming from him after all. I think it's coming from his bike. Hey, I never saw that before. I didn't put it there. Then who did? And when? And where? It had to have been stuck on within the last hour. Come on, think. Hey, I've been all over Midtown, web dude. Anybody could have done it while I was making a delivery. Hey, what smells? It's funny. He was in the dumpster. All right, he's right, and I've been led on a wild goose chase. I never should have agreed to let Betty go on TV to lure that goblin out. There's just one hope left now. One thing that might lead me to Betty. Okay, interesting. As I said, I'd become bored with the whole underworld milieu, and so I decided to use Ned one last time to help me fake the demise of the Hobgoblin. You might call it a perfect crime. I allowed Ned to enlist a photographer and fly off. Now, he doesn't mention Peter Parker, just a photographer, and fly off to Berlin in pursuit of his sordid little espionage story while he went about playing reporter. I had been leaking word to several of the criminal elite that he was the Hobgoblin. I then sat back and waited for the fish to bite. It didn't take long. So yeah, he's not a fully committed villain. I think he's an adventurer. I think he's bored with his life, and that's why he does it. So he's not like this creature who must do this. He does it out of sport. To ensure that Ned was in the proper frame of mind, I sent a little package to his hotel. Just a few things to jog his programming: a forged journal, a new suit of clothes, and he was all ready to greet the visitors I knew were on their way. The foreigner's assassins took the evidence of your husband's double life as proof of their kill. Thinking, and if you remember, guys, that Hobgoblin had a red circle on his chest for some reason. Ron Friends added that. They never quite mentioned why, but I remember seeing that. Thinking of Hobgoblin dead, Jason Messendil then assumed the role while I retired, undefeated as it were, to more important work. I might never have donned the mask again if not for Messendil's incompetence. He did me a favor, actually. I had almost forgotten how satisfying it is to wield raw physical power. But enough about me. Tell me about these notes of your husband's and explain how he was able to keep them a secret from me. I don't know. They were in code. What sort of code? I'm not sure. Then how could you read them? There are no notes, are there? You just waste your time and mine. You haven't told her the whole story. You fool! Have you lost your mind? Now that she's seen you, I'll have to silence her. Oh no, 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 no. This has gone too far. That's a good shot there. But Kingsley. Yeah, Fred's really, he stepped it up with the help of Bob McLeod. Again, this is the best art of the series. There'll be no more killing, you hear? No more. Idiot. I should kill you for that impertinence. I don't know why I tolerate you. Ah. You won't get out of that way. You won't get out that way, Miss Leeds. Those doors don't open unless I allow it. And I won't allow it. What are you? No, stay back. You weren't supposed to learn of my connection to Kingsley, Miss Leeds. I'm afraid you know too much now. Do you want to see the Hobgoblin's true face before you die? Sorry, you'll go to your grave never knowing. Hey, laughing boy, keep it down. Boom! Spider-Man here? That's a good shot, man. Good action shot. How? You must have led him to us, you incompetent fool. You okay? Yes. Hobgoblin's aim is way off. My sudden entrance really must have rattled him. Good. Eh? He's turned tail. Why? Well, well, look who's playing henchman. Roderick Kingsley going somewhere? I don't think so. What? What are you going to do to me? Nothing, for now. Keep an eye on him, Betty. I have a flight to catch. What's he up to? I can't believe he'd just take off and leave everything behind. Does he think that we pose him no threat? Or does he... Oh my God. Maybe he's planning to double back and firebomb the entire building. That would be just his style. Betty would be a sitting duck down there. Got to stop him now. What? Ugh. Contact. It's just little old me. Your friendly neighborhood strap hanger. Does this train make local stops? Let go. You're throwing me off balance. All right, Mr. Kingsley. Suppose you tell me what your role is in all of this. I don't understand. How did Spider-Man find us? I got rid of the tracers. Not the one inside this recorder. Now talk. Now that's cool. If it was in the recorder, why wasn't... I guess he was being distracted by the other ones? I guess. Whoa. Talk about cutting it close. Look at that. Boom, boom. Cutting it. Oh no. You're not getting away that easily. Got it. Now at least I have something stronger too. What's this? Exhaust. Getting kind of heavy. Clinging. All right. It's all true, what he said. As far as it went. I was working for him even before he started using your husband. Gone. Ha! How sad you didn't know about my glider's gas fogger, Spider-Man. By now you're just a broken carcass on the pavement. I can't wait to see. I knew you'd be back. I bet you watch for Roadkill too. Doc! Nice shot there. Mikey says, I bought Malin's Thunderbolts today. I never seen his mainstream stuff before. Very, very cool, Mikey. The block of 4 yellow panels is overpowering. You talking about back there, Mikey, or you mean this one? Here, bum, 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 bum. So good. All right, Mikey, look up his Youngblood stuff when you get a chance. Oh, Youngblood? LOL, I love John, but only respect Liefeld. His art sucks. I love John, but only respect Liefeld. His art sucks. I will, though. Thanks, Art. Yeah, I mean, the same here, Mikey. It's like, I don't know. I don't get this soft spot for Liefeld within some of the guys in comics. I just don't. But what I do notice is this. When they talk about him, they talk about the secondary iterations of his characters in other media, movies and cartoons. They jump away from his art really fast and jump to what impact he made. Deadpool. So yeah, he co-created him. He pretends that it's his own creation. Huh. It's funny. But yeah, Rob Liefeld, again, that was a time where the standards collapsed. Anyone got in, he lucked out. You got shitty editors who didn't give a fuck about art, comic book art. You got a young punk saying, "Yeah, yeah, I did this." He probably, as far as I know, they weren't his drawings that got him in. Let me just say that. Maybe he got a good inker to make it look better than it was. And then by the time he was in, it was too late to kick him out. He had some good inkers. He had Carl Kessel on that first, what was it, Hawk and Dove, and he had some other inkers. He had Dan Green on an X-Men issue. They did a lot of work to make him look serviceable. And then he started inking his own. He's like, holy shit, that's what he's about. By that time, it was too late. The standards collapsed, and you got a lot of hacks. And then you had also the spectacle of a guy like Herb Trimpe. I heard it. I used to call him Herb Trimp. Herb Trimpe. I don't know if that was comic book kayfabe. That's their way of trying to sound hip, but I don't like that. Herb Trimpe. Herb Trimp. Anyway, he tried to look like Liefeld. It was embarrassing. Some of the older guys try to do that. I mean, the best version of that, if there is to be, it was John Romita Jr. on the Cable two-parter. He made it look good. You know what I mean? But he's a horrible artist. Horrible. That Captain America, that's not a bold thing. That's a horrific drawing. And the only thing he said to me when I called him out, because he actually said something about it's all about art is about execution. I said, you're talking? He goes, how many copies you sold? I was like, what? I said, we're talking about art. That was his first response to me, and then he blocked me. But I was offended. I was like, you're talking about artistic execution. You're criticizing others for not having that? You? And his first go-to was Eric July style. How many have you sold? I said, unfortunately, nowhere near as much as you. You know, as in, it's unfortunate that he sold so many. And also, I don't know. What's his claim to fame? Cable with Fabian Nicieza, if that's how you pronounce it. He always pretends that it's his own creation. It's not. It's actually a co-creation. It's you and that guy. It's not just you. And you ripped off a number of things to get that. It was Bruce Wayne at the end of Dark Knight Returns with all that heavy stuff. He was in the Batcave with the white hair and all the pockets and stuff. That's Cable. He ripped that off within, 2 years, 3 years. Liefeld created him. Anyway, never liked him. His art was horrific. McFarlane 10 times better. If you want to talk to me about who's better, McFarlane 10 times better than Liefeld. 10 times. And then you got Silvestri, who, cooks them both. And Silvestri to me was a better artist than all of them, even Jim Lee. Jim Lee had the more, I guess, acceptable surface style, appealing. But Silvestri was a hell of an artist, a great cartoonist, a great, a kinetic guy who makes people look cartoony. He started off on Web of Spider-Man, then went there from, he did Avengers vs. X-Men, then X-Men and so on. Really, really good stuff. Mikey Getz says, Deadpool's a ripoff of Deathstroke anyway, and I like Deathstroke better. For sure, Deathstroke's better. Art says, Liefeld's current art is much more refined than his early stuff. He even redid that Captain America piece with Falcon, though. Huh. Did I see that? Sounds familiar. Yeah, he still sucks, though, Art. I mean, he's not a storyteller. This field is for storytellers. I don't give a shit how well you draw a pinup or a cover. This is a storytelling medium, first and foremost. And if you can have awesome drawing on top of that, excellent. If you can have good drawing on top of that, good. You can, tell a story. He can't. He can't. He never cared to. His whole thing was to make a splash. And again, I will repeat this till then, to the end of my days, when they say the only thing his fans, which I can't believe there are, would come to me with is his art has a lot of energy. I said, yeah, because he put no energy in learning how to draw. So it's all pent up. It's all inside him. So he blasts it onto the page. Look, energy. It's like, yeah. But why is it so boring if there's so much energy? And then, one of his most popular double page spreads was ripped off completely off of Ronin. It's like, and it didn't fit the context that it happened in Rowan, where the guy puts a sword through himself and someone else, works as a last act of a desperate man. It doesn't work for a guy who can heal, because you wouldn't want to do that to yourself. Ridiculous. But anyway, so I guess, yeah, it's better than complete shit. I guess right now, Liefeld's art, better than complete shit. Doesn't mean much to me. To me, it was an assault on the industry. That entire, Liefeld and the ones that followed him through. But all, I mean, if I remember, all those guys who followed him were 10 times better than he was. All those Liefeld's army, whatever they called them, they were all better. You know, they could draw better. Mikey Get says there's a great YouTube documentary on Rob called "How an Artist Who Couldn't Draw Became a Millionaire." It's great. I'll check that out, Mikey. Sean Allen says, "I believe you, my prince. Bend the knee, my lord." Don't know what you're referring to. Sounds like something you're alluding to something about this, maybe. But let's continue, guys. Just have to mention that because he can't tell a story to save his life. Rob Liefeld. He can't. He lucked out at a time where quality was looking the other way, where there were not rock solid editors like Jim Shooter to say, "Get the fuck out of my office." They were gone, and they wanted this splashy bullshit, and the industry suffered for it because it brought in a lot of people. And again, he's the nicest guy. Yeah, he's got to be. He's got to be, because his work sucks. So he's got to make up some kind of deficit. He's like, shit, my work sucks, but I'll be the nicest guy, and people will call me that, and then and so on and so on. And he'll help guys, by bringing them in. I guess, as far as I know, he brought in John, I think. At least John maybe sent in some stuff, and Youngblood. John drew Youngblood, which is, wow. Flady1, funny we're talking about him. Liefeld launched his first YouTube video this morning from his 4 to 5 year running podcast. I must have seen it last night or early this morning, and he's talking, and I use my hands a lot. I'm like an Italian in that way, but he was like, it's like, okay, I get it. Again, pent up energy, because he used none in learning how to write and learning how to draw and learning how to tell stories. So it's all in him, and it's all on the page. There's no energy, but there's a lot of quote unquote like excitement, Try to read Youngblood, guys. Try to read Youngblood. Please, I dare you. I brought up on King's the other day about those early Image comics. I said they were hard reads, and Ethan chuckled and agreed. They were tough reads, man. You couldn't go through them. You really, really couldn't. It was just terrible. They hurt the industry. They gave hope to mediocrities to rush in and do the same shit that they were doing. And it really killed standards for a while. It really did. And I found it also a little funny when you got critiques from certain artists who like Liefeld. It's like, you love Liefeld. I mean, I guess the critiques are legitimate, but why don't you critique him? Because you can have a feast on that. Mikey Gets, I miss George Perez. He was my favorite. Yeah, Perez was great. I mean, I just don't care for some of his finished work at times. His faces were a little off. He wasn't like he was like a Byrne without that Byrne quality on the faces that Byrne had. That very recognizable, cool looking faces with all the details and the cheekbones and the way he drew Reed Richards and Superman. Perez never quite got there in terms of the faces, but man, the guy put in the work. There's no doubt about it. He put in a lot of work, and he learned how to draw everything and everyone, it seems like. I mean, he's like the only guy who could have an entire double-page spread and draw 100 characters and make them look good, make them look like those characters. And I hate things like, he starts off on Infinity Gauntlet, and then Ron Lim comes in there. It's like, what a letdown, man. What a letdown. It's like he's going off. He's hitting the mark. You got And it's an interesting combination between him and Joe Rubenstein. It's like, okay, more of a brushwork feel. I like that. I like that a lot. And then Ron Lind comes in, who's I don't know, he's not good. I hated his Surfer with all those, highlights and shines and reflections. Silver Surfer is an elegant character. You don't do that to him. You got Kirby's, you got Buscema's, and you have Ron Garney's, which was fantastic. I mentioned that the other day also on the Kings. We can go on, guys, but yeah, Perez. Look, he was a guy who gave it his all, no doubt about it. He put everything he did, everything he had into his art. Um, I remember that. What was it? X-Men Annual early on. That Terry Austin inked was fantastic. Him and Terry Austin, holy shit. Great, great. Art says they're being re-released right now alongside the new Youngblood series. John's old Youngblood art. I'll be curious just to look at that. Mikey says, I like Spawn up until after issue 101, to be honest, but I'm going to check out Malin's Youngblood. Yes, it's definitely worth just to take a look. And, John, whatever he fancies about Liefeld, he blows away Rob Liefeld. You could see the little influence, a little of it. Blows him away. It's not even a contest. And I just, if you're that much better than the one that you really hold in a high position, I don't know. Toth is to me the greatest, and I'll never pretend that I'm anywhere near. I can, people can say it resembles Toth or something like that. I never make that claim. I try to do the best job that I can do, but I'm not there pretending that I can even, I'm not there to even try to say I'm gonna be better than Toth. No, I'm just trying to be the best me that I can be. And it's influenced, absolutely, no doubt about it. Influenced by Toth, sure. Influenced by Romita and all the other greats, absolutely. There's no question about it. Affiliated One says, I've been reading a lot of Shane's older stuff, really good. I enjoyed the early Image stuff, but I call him call him popcorn books. Fast, sloppy, a snack, not a real meal. 100% Affiliated. That's for sure. Not that filling either. But yeah, there's a place for that type of comic. 100%. I could watch these great movies like The Shawshank Redemption, but then I want to watch something fun, something lighter than that, like the Deadpool movie, and enjoy it without beating myself up over it. It's like, oh, no. There's a place for that. There's a place for, I have a certain diet where on a certain day of the week I can indulge, and that's it, and I keep it limited to that day, and I enjoy the taste of it. But that's about it. I get back on track, as right after. But there is a place for that. As for sure, Mikey, the student has become the master. I mean, that's for sure. You know, John can blow him away. I mean, it's not even close. Art says the original series is getting remastered issue by issue with extras. They'll probably get to John stuff eventually. Okay. Very, very cool. Okay. Let me get this going, guys. I knew you'd be back. I bet you watched for Roadkill 2. Spider Sense warned me of the danger from the gas just in time to hold my breath. Very, very cool. So this is Roderick Kingsley talking to Betty Brant about he's fessing up for some reason. As soon as he saw that, I think Hobgoblin was saying something that he couldn't take part in, he pulled that gun. He never thought himself a criminal, but everything he had, he took from others. He used a common thug named Georgie Hill to steal the Green Goblin's equipment and then killed him. He brainwashed Lefty Donovan like he later did Ned. He used them up, then threw them away. Oops. Damn it. Okay. Okay. So, here we are. You jackanapes. I'm a jackanapes? Well, you're a butthead. He headbutts him. It's hilarious. That's a good shot, too. And Spider-Man's whirling on him. And again, love it, love it, love it. This is a complete homage to Romita Sr. in that issue of issue 38, 39 of Spider-Man. 38, I think. 39. And here is Ramita. There's Ramita as well. Fantastic. And he's riding the glider, which is pretty wild. Look at that. That perfect mask. Nicely done, man. Nicely done, friends and McLeod. No more tricks, Hobgoblin. When Spider-Man wants to go off, he can go off. He's a powerful guy. No pumpkin bombs, no hand blasters, just you and me, up close and personal. He used people all his life, but I let him use me. I covered for him. I always had, even before he became the Hobgoblin. You're not Roderick Kingsley. Well, I'll be. No, I'm not. I'm Daniel Kingsley. My brother Roderick is the Hobgoblin. So they were going back and forth, back and forth. He puts on a wig. He puts on a bald wig. He puts on the hair wig and so on. And because when you saw Roderick Kingsley go to his brother when he was having a dinner with Mary Jane, he was the cold, brooding one, and he was the light one, if you remember, guys. And it's interesting because Roderick Kingsley was first established in, I think, a Spectacular Spider-Man issue where he was a pretty fruity-looking guy. He was like in a fashion industry, and I guess that was Daniel, because he's not as masculine. He's a little more effeminate. But this is it. It's Roderick Kingsley. That's the Hobgoblin. If you didn't know, sorry. I mean, you were following this, and if you only read this issue with me, I guess cool, because they were able to read, page by page. Mary Jane told me that Kingsley had a brother, but I wasn't expecting this. I'm not sure which is which, but I'll find out soon enough. I mean, really, a real trickster here, isn't he? I like it. It's like he was terrified of being caught. He says the disgrace would be, unspeakable. He was very, very worried about being caught. Bill has been denied billionaire tycoon Roderick Kingsley in a continuing story of murder and corruption which has shocked Wall Street. Hobgoblin's strikes against rival corporate holdings may have been part of an elaborate corporate takeover scheme. Osborne executive Donald Mencken expressed outrage over accusations that he had knowingly conspired with the Kingsley brothers. In an ironic note, Kingsley, the purported Hobgoblin, will be held at the Great Neck Maximum Security facility. Excuse me. Mikey says, the Spidey books I'm scared to pay the big bucks for in case they suck is Reign and Death of Gene DeWolf. Death of Gene DeWolf is great, Mikey. Life Story was a new one I enjoyed. I liked the concept of it. I just didn't like the execution. They should have had a real good artist there. I don't care for Mark Bagley. I just don't. It's the same shit over and over again with the same talking heads and then a few exciting, exciting panels here and there. Talking heads. At least that was with the Bendis one. I don't really care for him, and I don't like his Spider-Man. I don't like the suit the way it looks. I don't like his body. But Death of Gene DeWolf's good. That's a rock-solid book by Peter David and Rich Buckler. Rock solid. It's a good story, well told. And Buckler, it kicked ass there. In the same cell where, in an ironic note, Kingsley, the purported Hobgoblin, will be held at the Great Neck Maximum Security facility in the same cell where he allegedly killed Jason Philip Messendale, the second Hobgoblin. You just make like a statue, Kingsley. Don't even think of moving a muscle until lockdown is complete. Okay, you can move now. What's this? Hello, Kingsley. Here's a little keepsake of your past visit here. It's your own voice recorded live. You remember. Just look at you. You become an embarrassment. An embarrassment. An embarrassment. Spider-Man. Spider-Man. Think that constitutes cruel and unusual punishment? I don't care, Peter. Spider-Man asked me to pass it along, and I'm glad I did. Thank you for letting us watch the lockdown, Sergeant. Our pleasure, Miss Leeds. After the way you stuck your neck out to help nab the Hobgoblin, we owed it to you and your friends to see our new security measures. Very cool. We learned a lot from the way Kingsley broke in to kill Messendale. He won't be waltzing out of here now. We appreciate that very much, Sergeant. Thank you again. Huh, here's Conover. What's he doing there? And I appreciate you inviting me along, Betty, especially after the lame-brained way I acted with my notes. Huh, he made good. You were a victim of the Hobgoblin too, Jacob. You just didn't know it. Yeah, but I blamed Ned a long time for something that wasn't his fault. Well, how did it go? It went. It still amazed me. I mean, all the corporate skullduggery and the arrogance of that man. I once worked for Rod Kingsley, Mr. Conover. I never would have suspected him of leading a double life. Hey, you never know. Tell me about it. Peter says, tell me about it. Thank you again, Peter. If not for you and Spider-Man, I don't know what I would have done. She has some kind of closure, but, Ned's gone, even though at some point between this and now, Ned Lee's returns. How? I don't know. I'm glad I could help Bets. Ned was a really, really one of the good guys, one of the good ones. Locking Kingsley away can't bring Ned back, but at least we were able to clear his name. Yes, knowing the truth is somehow reassuring. Maybe now I can finally get on with life. I know you can, Betty. If you ever need to talk, you have our number. We'll always be there for you. Oh, Mary Jane, you and Peter have done so much already. I'll never forget this. Peter? Penny for your thoughts, Tiger? Again, this is the best art of the series. It's really well done. It's a classic look on there. Fits really, really well. That rich brushwork. I was just thinking about how things turned out for the women in my life. Betty was the first girl I ever dated. It just isn't right. Liz Osborne lost Harry. Betty lost Ned. And Gwen lost everything. Sometimes I think that my being Spider-Man is a curse, that I wind up wrecking the lives of everyone around me. No, don't you dare think that, Peter Parker, not for an instant. It was the Green Goblin who was responsible for Gwen's and Harry's deaths. The Hobgoblin for Ned's, and it was Spider-Man who brought them to justice. Don't you ever forget that. Spider-Man has done too much good to be a curse. You hear me? I'm I'm so proud to be married to you, and I love you so very much. Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome from Mary Jane. Mary Jane, why is it that you always know the right thing to say, and how was I ever so lucky as to find you? Hey, Tiger, I found you first. I think we're both pretty lucky. Yeah, as long as we have each other, I guess we are. The end. 1982 to 1996. Roger's turn. Uh, Introducing the Hobgoblin and finishing his story arc about it. Very, very cool. Love it. Um, all right, guys. You got some good eyeballs on here. Appreciate it, guys, as always. I got one thumb down. uh, I never got that before, so cool. I guess there's one guy who's not pleased, or it's just some troll. Who knows? Um, have you guys seen the Superman trailer? You want to? Uh, let's go to find my comment first. Let me make my pitch. Yeah, guys, if you could like this on X, on YouTube, if you could subscribe, and since I cannot get super chats anymore, unfortunately, I wasn't notified, nothing. If you guys can support me by getting my stuff, that's right, Art. Support me by getting my stuff, and um, okay, I'll play it. Cool. And getting my Muhammad flipbook backing Pigman, I would appreciate it. And if you could subscribe to my channel, I would really appreciate it. And I'll figure out something. I wasn't getting many super chats, but it was great having it there. It was like it's a status thing. You earn it by getting enough followers and getting enough watches. It's like cool. And then, you know, who knows? You can imagine why, right, guys? Anyway, the Islamic background of twins comes to the forefront of their lives on 9/11, which is echoed by the comic book within Pigman versus Super Jihad. Twin brothers post 9/11. Their Islamic background comes to the forefront of their lives. They clash on that day when Salam Duka, next to his twin brother, starts laughing and giggling when Americans are jumping from towers, and then screams Allahu Akbar. And he gets his ass kicked by Killian, kicks him out of his home, kicks him out of his life. No, Mikey. Yep. That does happen. Even on X sometimes, like even on Facebook. I can't log into my account on Facebook no matter what. And no mention, no nothing, zero. Just one day I was logged out by them and I could never log back in. And it sucks because I got 12,000 followers there. I would really love to just let them know about this campaign. Maybe, get some more backers, at least a good number. But I'll see if I could do that as well, because that's something that I'm hoping to get back on. But yeah, if you want to support me, you can also go to my store, go to my website, boschfawson.com. On the store section, you can scroll down. You see the donate button. You can donate on there. You can get what's left of my books. I got a few books left. Prints. I got a lot of prints left. I got a lot of trading cards. Or back Pigman. I would really appreciate it, guys. That's one way to support me if you want to. As I continue my work here, Jerome Muhammad, doing the adaptation. So I have a 9-page preview here, guys. I have 5 different covers. You guys can check it out on your own. Check out the trailer that Shanth Anjeti made, which is fantastic. He really took the spirit of it and made it his own, which is awesome. And I have to add, I think Mike or someone mentioned I got to add to the Want It All pack. I will definitely do that. I forgot to do it last night. I got it on my list. Apologize. But yeah, guys, back it. I would really, really appreciate it. I'm up to 278 backers, over $18,000. Very pleased with it. And at the same time, I want more backers. I want more. So if you guys haven't yet, please consider. Please consider. There's a good number of you here right now. So if you haven't, check it out. Check out the trailer. Read the description here. Check out the 9-page preview, all the covers and so on. You might find something here that appeals to you. Take it on this Islamic threat. It has to be taken on. I'm the only guy taking it on at this level, taking on Islam and jihad, not just jihad. So check it out, guys. Appreciate it. Okay, I don't know yet how to listen to it.
Are you being serious right now?
And play it for you guys. Fleety1, what comic you looking to review next? I had it in my head, the Fantastic Four versus X-Men, and also maybe the Avengers versus X-Men. I had those two in mind. But I think the Fantastic Four versus X-Men, that's probably the one. And again, it's the one that Ethan cites as the thing that got him into comics. It's fantastic. It's so damn good. So damn good. Mike Getz says, how much John give you for that cover for art? That's my favorite cover. I think it was one of the auctions. Thanks, by the way. 200. That was his bid. That's it. He didn't. He just dove in through 200, and no one matched it. So hey, I'm glad he has it. It's awesome. And that's he's been very, very cool about it. I mean, ever since that I showed that first trailer months ago. The guys were talking about. It's so funny. I think John felt he had to shut down what was going on because the guys were talking about, hey, where you live, Bosch? Making a little light of it. That's what happens sometimes when something. It's like even when I said my name is Bosch and I'm a recovered Muslim, and it's so funny. And Ethan was like, "Ooh, like." It's hilarious to me. To me, these are the given. I say these things, and it is what it is. I don't think that they're controversial. I don't. I really don't. I'm not, playing fake. I don't think that is controversial to say those type of things. And then John just shut it down by saying, "This is the most important comic in Comicsgate." And he said, "Why? Why is that, John?" So John explained it. He goes, "Because his life is at stake here, taking on this threat." And I really appreciate it. I really, really did. And then he repeated it when he got the he was on air, and he opened up the original drawing that he bought from me that I used for issue 1. So John's been a great supporter of that. I mean, I really appreciate it. I would love to ask him to close out Pigman, and we'll see. Um, Art says, "I know you don't love headphones. What about IEMs? What's that, Art? IEMs? See, I don't even know that." Flatey one, nice. That should be a killer review. I mean, it's just so damn good, Flatey. Chris Claremont and John Bogdanove. And again, John Bogdanove was always a good artist, always, from Power Pack to Superman. But when you got him in a story told by Chris Claremont, that's a good story. And not even that overly wordy. I mean, he tends to go there, but Doctor Doom story and everything having to do with Reed in there. And you got him inked by Terry Austin. He's never looked better, Bogdanove. I mean, he's always good. He's always been good. But damn, that was awesome. Mikey says, "Damn, I would have bid 250. Hello, John's a good owner though. Absolutely. Hey, Jeremy, how's it going? And guys, if you're interested, also I do sell my original art. If you're interested in this, let me know. Message me. Message me if you're interested in this week's drawing on the Kings, the Fantastic Four. So funny. When I heard, because we get the heads up in the Kings chat, and I heard Fantastic Four. I was like, "Oh, okay." So what do I think? The entire team. I didn't think, oh, just one element of it, and it was only me and Ethan actually who drew the entire team. And again, I get this idea where it's like I come from a different place than these guys. These guys were, accepted into the big two. I wasn't. I was on the outskirts. I was in contact with a number of the individuals in there, but never quite making it through. But getting an Eisner nomination, a Russ Mann, Most Promising Newcomer nomination, and so on, and getting people quietly behind the scenes telling me how much they like my stuff. It's like, God, I don't want to hear it, man. I don't want to fucking hear it. By that I mean, it's like I shouldn't be a dirty secret for these pros. I shouldn't. But anyway, so yeah, guys, give me an offer. Let me know if you're interested. Art says inner ear modules. Okay, nicer earbuds like what musicians wear on stage. Mine are super comfortable and small. Don't even feel that you're wearing them. Now I do have my AirPods, Art, but if I listen to them now, if I put them on, aren't the sounds going to go only into me? Because maybe for the other big headphones things, that's when the sound is shared with you guys and me. I don't know, Art. To be blunt, I just don't know. It might sound dumb. It is what it is. I just don't know. But I'm going to let this play for you guys, and then if you want to give and take a little about it, give me your thoughts, whatever they are. You don't like it? Let me know. You love it? Let me know. You hate it? Let me know. I want to go at it, and then I'll tell you what I think. So let me play it. Let me play it, guys, and let me make myself smaller here. I want to get in the corner and pull it up and just play it.
Are you being serious right now?
Yeah.
You'd let me interview you as Superman.
Sure.
Ready?
Let's do it, Cronkite.
Superman.
Miss Lane.
Recently, you've come under a lot of fire for
I don't
what
know if
some
it's a
might.
lot of
it's
fire,
it's a lot. Today, the Secretary of Defense said he was going to look into your actions. That's funny?
My actions? I stopped a war.
Maybe.
Not maybe. I did.
In effect, you illegally entered a country.
This is how you're gonna be?
I'm not the one being interviewed, Superman. Did you consult with the president?
No.
You seemingly acting as a representative of
I
the
wasn't
United States
representing
will cause
anybody
more
except for me.
problems around the world.
And doing good.
I would question myself in the same situation and consider the consequences.
People were going to die. Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
Your choices, your actions. That's what makes you who you are.
Superman. He's not a man. He's an it. He's somehow become the focal point of the entire world's conversation. I will not accept that.
I cleaned your boots. I'll go get them for you.
You have a dog?
So let me know what you guys think, and we'll go from there. Just whatever it is, don't second guess anything. Just if you haven't seen it, I'm assuming everyone has seen it. I mean, it's been out there for hours and hours now. Huh? Yes, that's hilarious, Kilroy. He's been in a few movies. He was in Mississippi Burning, one of those KKK guys. That actor. It's a strange pick, but at the same time, it's like, okay. I mean, Pa Kent. You're not going for a heroic looking Pa Kent like Rob Schneider, if that was the name, and so on. It's funny. So let me know what you think, guys. Yes, comic books in cahoots. I think that James Gunn, and keep in mind, guys, this is not just a guy who's jobbing it. It's a guy who's more or less the head of DC movies. I think his Peter Safran is supposedly on the way out. So he's just the full head, and he's the writer of this and the director. There's a real immersion here, a real engagement with him. There's a lot at stake here. This has to be great. And I just saw it right now, and it looks great. The colors are great. I think the actor who plays him is going to be very good. He has the perfect size. He's 6'4". He's a big guy, good voice. I think he'll be good, and I'm hoping the movie's going to be good. I love the trailer. I got a little choked up, to be blunt. I was what was it? It was something about Superman when he started to get a little angry, and then it showed him as a kid running to Pa Kent. I don't know, just brought up certain things. So yeah, comic books and goods. My point was that I think that James Gunn's like, I don't think we're gonna top John Williams' score. So let's incorporate that. We'll have a score, we'll have, but god damn it, the world knows that Superman score. It's what, 40 something years old, and it still resonates with everyone. And I think it's smart. I think it's smart. I don't think I liked Hans Zimmer's Man of Steel score. I liked the soundtrack. It just wasn't on the epic level that John Williams was. So I don't mind it at all. I don't mind it at all. I think they understand that. I don't know if we can make it better. It's so damn good. It's like, the Star Wars movies. I mean, they're used throughout every single last one. And of course, Williams did do every last one, which is great. But Kilroy, it's hypnotic. It is. It's well done. Art, I'm neutral in it. Could be decent, but I'm not holding my breath with modern comic stuff. I hear you, man. I got that from some friends today also. I hear you. I haven't. It's so funny. Here's me. I love comic books. I love superhero movies. I have missed more superhero movies than I ever would have thought I ever would have. It's hard to believe, but I don't care for a lot of them. This I'm going to watch for sure. Fantastic Four I'm going to watch absolutely. I don't like Pedro Pascal. I think he's an asshole. I think he's an aggressive communist, piece of shit, and he's an okay actor. I don't think he's gonna be bad enough to fuck up the movie, though. I don't think so. I hope not, at least. It looks like they understand what's at stake. They want to make it a good, different Marvel movie, and I hope that is the case. But we'll see. But Superman, I'm looking forward to it. I love the character. The guy seems like he's a good Superman. I think he'll do the job well. I think Lois will also do the job well. The guy who plays Jimmy Olsen is very good. He was in the Righteous Gemstones. He plays the son of Jesse Gemstone. He does a good job, and he'll look the part. He won't be this 6'5" black guy the way they had in one of those series. Like, that's ridiculous. That's not Jimmy Olsen. It looks good, guys. It looks good. It looks really beautiful. I saw it today again, but I just didn't see it this close up here and seeing the visuals because the sound was off for me. You guys heard it, but I'm just watching the visuals. Really sharp, clean quality. Looks decent. Kilroy, Mikey, I like everything but the suit and crypto. The suit's tough, man. It's I don't know why the hell they did that. You have this guy. He's 6'4". He does the hard work of trying to look like Superman, and then you bury him under this rubbery garbage bag that's blue. Very strange. Very strange. I'm thinking they were thinking like All-Star Superman, where the very, very, very undefined suit, like a thick suit. You don't see the stomach cuts or the chest cuts or anything really, the way Frank Quitely did it. And I know that was one of his inspirations, but even so, even if you do have that kind of suit the way he had it in there, you will still at certain times show, the fact that you are rock solid, and you shouldn't hide Superman's muscles. You shouldn't. And that's what it's doing, unfortunately. But I like the colors. I will say that. That red is red. It's not purple like, Zack Snyder had. Even though I think the actual cape was red, but he made it look purple. He made it look dead. It's like, what the hell, man? Like a bruise. Comic books and goods, it could be good. It could be. Comic books and goods. Again, someone asked me last night before the trailer came out. I said, I'm not sure if James Gunn has the heroic in him. I don't know. We will find out. I know that he is quirky. He tries to be tries to get emotions in a pretty cheap way, in a schmaltzy way, like cheap emotions, animals, and tug at your heartstrings. Can he do the big stuff? Can he do what Mario Puzo and Richard Donner did? Having Superman have that moment where it's impossible what just happened. Lois just died. This is impossible. For the viewer sitting in that theater, I think John Byrne mentioned, when we saw that in the theater, like blown away, like, oh my God. Because you're sitting in that theater, Superman's doing his thing, you recognize him as Superman, he looks the part, he acts the part, um, and he's saving the world, and he has to save the world, right? But he doesn't save Lois. She dies. She's dead. And the audience is sitting there watching the impossible. It's like, Lois Lane's dead? How's it possible? What the hell kind of movie is this? What happened here? And then he has that intense rage at the reality of it, and just turns around and screams and goes up in the sky, and he's told it's forbidden. It is forbidden for you to, and he just goes right through them and says, I'm not losing her. Absolutely not. That's a moment that, I'm not sure if James Gunn has that in him to have that kind of moment, the unforgettable moment, and then of course it turns into turn the world back, and then people, oh, that's cheesy. It's a great movie, guys, from start to finish. And I resented the humor of it years ago, and I don't resent it as much now. I like it. I like Otis and his interactions with Lex Luthor. There's an Otis in this one, but he's black, of course. We'll see if it's going to be funny at least. And I just never understood why Luthor would have an idiot around him. Is he that insecure that he needs? I don't know. It's just very, very strange. Flayed one. Soup seems weak and not stoic. Lois feels like Brie Larson, no feminine energy. I've heard that one too, Flady. I like the fact that we're getting a very human Superman. I like that. I think the way he's perceived at times, he should be more stoic. I don't know. I mean, every writer always talks about Superman when they say he's the toughest character to write. He's invulnerable and all that. Okay, if that's the thing, and it's repeated over and over and over again in the screenwriters, in the comic book writers, over and over again, I've heard that for decades. Okay, if that's the problem, let's see what we can do to hurt him a little, to make him vulnerable a little. Not just a kryptonite, but I'm talking emotionally. I'm talking about certain things. That's interesting to me. It's interesting, and despite all that, guys, I hope he comes out on top as a hero and gives us a little, a good feel when we leave that theater. I hope so. I hope so. Yeah, the background music was great, Flady, and it's available on Apple Music. The soundtrack music, it's available there. I just uploaded it. It's pretty damn good. But yet says, why is Lois interviewing him knowing he's Clark though? The word is, from what I gather, now I've stayed clear from a lot. I haven't seen some of the other stuff. I keep hearing these things, the predictions and rumors and all this. I don't want to watch that shit. I just want to watch the movie. I'm not even watch any more trailers after this. I think we got the big one anyway. They're dating, and she clearly knows that he is Superman. In this, they cut to the chase, really. They throw us into the middle of it, where he's already working at Dilly Planet. He's with Lois. They're together. She knows he's Superman. It's interesting. I didn't expect that, actually. I thought that was pretty cool, and I really liked the way that the dynamic was going, where they're up for it, and then he starts getting a little defensive and saying, hey. And I love the idea that he is resenting the idea that he should be on call by the government. He should be checked by the government. He should be more cognizant of that, more considerate of them. And where he's like, no, I just want to save people. People were dying. And he gets angry at one point. People were dying. And then you see him falling to the earth. I like it. I like that. I like seeing Superman express himself in this way. I like that. It could be perceived as weak, flighty. I don't know. I like when characters go the gamut, like in Barbie, right? It's not a great movie, no matter what AVS says and others. Believe me, it's not. It's a movie made by communist whores for communist whores, and the only thing that was good about it was Ken, who was the only real character. He had it all. He was passionate. He was angry. He was crying. He was frustrated. He was hard up, to be blunt. I mean, he was all those things, and he was the only real thing in there. And in this one, I like the fact that we have a very real Superman. It looks like the people around him are cold and stoic. Um, so I like a very human Superman. So long as he retains his heroism and he is a good guy and he comes through and has some kick-ass heroic moments, just really kick-ass. Like I do like aspects of of Superman Returns, but after that incredible scene with the shuttle and the plane and the baseball field, nothing matched that in terms of grandeur. It was like grandeur. It was like not really. You gotta finish strong. Lex looked like he's a bad guy committed to this. He calls him. He rejects the idea that he's even a man. He calls him an it, which makes it easier for him to try to destroy him. That's how all bad guys do it. That's how the Muslims do it about us, about the Jews. They want to dehumanize, so therefore they can do obscene things to us. That's a villain aspect, which is good. So, comic books and cahoots. That trailer is effective, and Lois knowing Clark is Superman moves the character development along. There is that aspect, comic books, and I was surprised, and again, I think I welcomed it. I was like, okay, okay. You dive in. It's like, okay, that is the status quo in the comics for decades now. So it's like, okay, they're going to that point. They're not going with the origin, not going with him, going through the whole process. He's now uh, at the Daily Planet with Lois. She knows who he is, and we can go on from there. I think it's a good setup. I think it's a good place to start. Um, I think it is. Let's see. Comic Books News continues. Little old lady Ma Kent is a nice change from more recent versions. Yeah, I didn't mind that at all either. At all. I thought it was cute. I thought it was charming. This an old Ma Kent who tells him, "I clean your boots." Is something wholesome about that. Something very American. Um, I like it. I like that aspect. And comic books Coots continues. I think the idea of joining Superman, the character already in progress, would be a nice change from all the origin stories of Superman. I think so too. Comic books and Coots. I like it. We're being thrown into the middle of it. We're not starting from nothing. We're going into there and setting the stage and saying, okay, now here's the conflict, and that'll be the issue. Um, and then comic book sequence says Superman was pitted between his heavenly father and his human father in a downer conclusion, and given a chance to help her the way he couldn't help Ma Kent. That's right. Um, thanks, Mikey. Appreciate it. Put the link, Pigman. Again, if you're here, if you're listening, if you're new here, if you haven't checked out my Pigman campaign, please just check it out. Go to the Fund My Comic, Pigman #1, Bosch Walson. Check it out. Check out the trailer. You could also check out the other trailer on my website. I am going to put that back here, a little back and forth. I got two people who made two great trailers for me, and I don't want to, I want to show them both because they're both great. They're both very, very unique. And it's funny. Shanth said, he goes, "Yeah, I'm superficial. I like the visuals. That's it. That's what That's hilarious." And it's not true. By the way, he speaks about art and look at what he's doing. But it's cool. So yeah, check it out, guys. Check out the trailer. Check out all the previews, all the rewards I have, and if you could consider backing it, I would really, really appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, so Kilroy was here. I like Superman Returns. Yeah, there are elements I definitely liked of there. It was a very classic look to it. Brandon Routh was doing his best. Reeves, Christopher Reeve. some moments were really good. That baseball thing, that scene was good. When Luther and his thugs overpower Superman and stab him in the back with that kryptonite knife. Pretty brutal. Pretty brutal. A few elements were good in there. I didn't like the truth, justice, all that stuff. Perry White. It's just stupid. It's just so stupid. It's in your face. It's like fuck America. It's in your face. Fuck you, guys. He's an icon. He's an American icon. And when they started this movie, the whole synopsis of this movie was always truth, justice, American way. Are they going to be explicit about it in the movie? I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. I hope so. That'll be cool. Jeremy says, I may go to the theater to watch it. Yeah, I'm definitely going to go to the theater. I love Superman. I love Superman. Love the character. Don't get the comics because I don't see anything worthwhile getting. There's always a new iteration and you look at it, and then you got the gay son stuff and you have him being tortured and raped in an alien planet. I mean, I don't know, man. It's unbelievable the nihilism of these scumbags. They have Superman in their clutches, but this doesn't look like that, So we will see. Art says, Bosch, have you seen the recent show? The opening to the first episode is easily in contention for the best Superman footage ever filmed, in my opinion. The recent show, Superman and Lois, I like that show a lot. Art, if that's what you're referring to, I like that show a lot. Very well done, very wholesome, and it's interesting to me. They had this element in the series with having Lana's kid maybe be gay, have a kiss at camp in the summer. And they dealt with that and they got over with real damn quick. And I believe this. I believe that those in charge did not spark it. I believe the studio shoved it down their throats and said, yeah, okay, we'll do that. And they did it in a way that was off screen, that was alluded to, that was mentioned, and it pissed off not Jonathan, the other son. He felt betrayed about it. And then it went away like that. So that was the one thing that they shoved in there for absolute bullshit reasons. But outside of that, a great Lois. Hands down, I think my favorite Lois. Even though this one looks like she could be good. And the Superman was solid. And also the John Irons, Steele, whatever his name was, John, he was very good. Great actor. Very compelling, very serious, something very dignified about him also. He was, Luthor in the other Earth, Lex Luthor, and then he comes here and has taken on a different identity. And then you have that hardcore Lex Luthor, very different, but it worked. I mean, it was interesting, but I really liked that show, Superman and Lois. Very good show. Jimmy the Lumberjack says, a movie like Superman needs to be seen big screen 100%. I'm hopeful that this one, me too, Jimmy, man. I really hope so. And it has to be seen on a big screen. It was shot in IMAX also. So, you look at the quality, it's like, damn, looks really good. Comic Books and Hoot says, an optimistic and sincere Superman is desperately needed these days, 100%. You need that. And again, I think Henry Cavill could have pulled that off if he had the right director. He didn't. He had an asshole who's dark, edgy. It's like, it's so corny. That's so tired, man. You might as well be fucking emo. Anyway, it looks like it's a good, wholesome Clark Superman. I think so. I hope so. Mikey Getz says, I didn't even go for free comic book day because nothing interests me. I know, the same here. And again, it's the same rat bastards who are doing the comics, so fuck them. I mean, we haven't heard, believe me, we will know. If there is a new talent out there that is kicking ass, we're all going to know. The word gets out. And especially when you're good, everyone gets the word out because it's a shocker. So until that happens, I can ignore it with no problem. It's fucked up though. I was a lifer, week after week, stacking those comics, loving them. Lady One says, last Soups I read was Change Earth One this morning. Really enjoyed it. Now I got to reread that because I got this bad taste in my mouth about it being emo style. But I'm willing to give it another try. So you just mentioned that. I think it might be worth rereading it. Art says, yeah, that intro fast forwarding through his origin, then seeing him solve a crisis with that iceberg. Perfect. The intro fast forwarding through his origin. Yes, you're talking about, okay, you're talking about the show about the Superman and Lois, right? Art? Because I don't remember that exact thing right there with the origin. Yeah, I guess, did they have that? But it was a rock solid show. I think that it was ended prematurely, and the word is that it was ended prematurely because James Gunn doesn't want two Supermans in there to confuse people. That's bullshit, man. It's bullshit. That's a bullshit reason. That show could have went on for a few more years. It didn't lack in quality. It was solid. And then you got Matt Mannheim, also one of the guys from the comics. Good actor playing him. A great voice, great presence. Good stuff, man. You guys talking about Superman Earth 1, which again, now I'm going to have to take another look at. Because again, I saw some stuff recently. I was like, oh, it was better than I remember. It might be the case with Shane's book, but I'm much more interested in Inglorious Rex. Much more. But let's see. Comic Books and Good says, when I was little, the idea that Superman would help save the world and help some kid living in the sticks win a soapbox derby was wonderful. That's the thing. I mean, he's such an icon. He is DC's icon. No matter how popular Batman will get, it's Superman's world, the DC universe. It's Spider-Man's world, Marvel universe. I don't care about how popular Wolverine can be. It's Spider-Man's world and it's Superman's world. You need that bright, confident, happy, not angsty superhero to hold it up, to hold the entire universe up. You can't have that. Superman can go dark, but Batman can't go real light. He can't. He can't go wholesome. He can't go where you'll think of those things. Comic books make goods. Jimmy Lumberjack in Goose, yes, I agree. Superman character can explore humanity and have depth. Absolutely. And he should. And it looks like they're going with that here. I like it. It doesn't seem dark. It seems like interesting little dilemma there that he has with Lois, because he's like, he says, are we doing this? Like, at first they're gung-ho to do the interview, and then she starts challenging him, and he gets a little defensive. And of course online, he's a pussy, look at him, and she's a girl boss. Yeah. Even though those things are shitty, those kind of shorthand things, it's more than that. It's more than that. But we'll see. Lady One says, I'm enjoying Jeff Johns' Ghost Machine comics. They think they should get more attention, but they already paused Rook and released the trade paperback. They paused that series, Lady. I was getting a few of them, and then I just stopped. Not for lack of anything else. I will get them again because they're good. They're good quality. And Gary Frank is an incredible artist, who's gotten better and better and better over the decades. I think he drew Supergirl like 90s, I think. He's really good. He drew Hulk also, and now he's never been better. His inking was the key. I think it was the fact of the finished art being his, like Ethan. Ethan makes it a point to ink all his stuff. He did that with Flash. He did that with Green Lantern. There's something about that, especially in the mainstream. You get to decide what the final look of those lines will be. It's incredibly important. Ditko did that, 60 years ago with Spider-Man. Almost nobody was doing that back then. It was always reliant on the other guy, on the other team. Ditko was like, no. I'm going to plot this, pencil, and ink it. It'll be my thing completely. I will decide how the final lines look. The colors might fuck up whatever they can, but I'll make it color-proof in a lot of ways. That's what Toth, he spoke about making his work color-proof. There's something about that. And Gary Frank, when he started inking his stuff, and the way he inks it, next level. I mean, next level. Art says, yeah, the beginning of the first episode recaps all the Clark's history. Then we see him solve a crisis in a very Superman way. That series was really good, Art. I recommend it to anyone if you haven't seen it. Absolutely worth watching. It doesn't have the hokiness of Smallville where the mutant every week. It was a drama, a wholesome drama about a family trying to keep their shit together, considering all the problems that they bring on. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. A very good Superman. A very good Superman. Comic books include Superman having bureaucracy and political whims being a sort of secondary antagonist could be really interesting. It definitely could, and I love the fact that he flouts it. He's like, yeah, so I stopped a war. In his mind, that transcends whatever these bureaucrats would want to do to him. And then they, end up, it looks like Flag, Rick Flag Sr. arrests him, who's the right in the government. So that could be interesting, guys. It could be interesting. Chopper. I was listening to you, Yankee, speaking of your American sports, so I thought, just stay out of it. But now you are on to Superman, etc. I have to introduce you to the best of the best, the brown bottle. What's the brown bottle, Chopper? What is the brown bottle? I almost don't want to know. But it sounds funny. The brown bottle, what the hell? But guys, I am going to get going. I appreciate your time. Appreciate you guys give and take. Always appreciate that, guys. Thank you very much. And again, if you haven't backed Pigman, please consider backing Pigman. This is my work. This is my job. This is what I do. I rely on people like you to purchase it and spread the word if you like it. So please consider backing Pigman. I would really appreciate your support. Flay says whiskey, probably. That's hilarious. Let me know. We'll leave a cliffhanger there, Chopper, because I do got to get going. But thanks, guys. Take care. Be well. Thank you very much, man. Yep. An extraordinary man hamstrung by ordinary restraints is smart. Absolutely. Comic books and goods. It could be interesting, man. It could be interesting. Again, it's a great trailer. People said it should have been the first one. Hey, man, we got our teasers. We got our teasers. That's cool. Take care, Art. Be well, man. Thanks, man. Art says, back Pigman. It's funny and action-packed. Thanks a lot, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, it has, it has a lot of stuff, guys. It has courtroom scenes and debates at comic book conventions. It has action. It has killing of terrorists. It has a lot of stuff in there. And it is funny. I get a kick out of it. I laughed out loud at some parts when I thought of them and executed them. So appreciate it. Take care, Mikey, Jimmy, Jeremy, Chopper, Flady. My name is on the last copy of Peaceful Death Threats. Very, very cool, Chopper. It's the last one. So I recommend getting it now because 3 of them went I think a week or 2 ago. Thanks, Flady. Appreciate it, man. Guys, take care, man. Be well. Until next time. Thank you. And I believe it will be the Fantastic Four versus X-Men, Flady. Because I was thinking about that or Silvestri's Avengers versus X-Men, which I love the first 3 issues. And then Keith Polar drew the last one. A good artist, but, you got Silvestri kicking ass out there. And it was good because it was also Joe Rubinstein inking him. And I like Joe Rubinstein when he inks these guys. It's very different. When he inked George Perez, very different. He gave a little more texture, a little more brushwork to it. It was nice. Take care, guys. Comic books and goots. Be well, man. Until next time, take care.